Porsche 9281977-82. The Porsche 928 is a luxury Grand Tourer produced by Porsche AG of Germany from 1978 to 1995. Originally intended to replace the company's iconic 911, the 928 combined the power, poise, and handling of a sports car with the refinement, comfort, and equipment of a luxury sedan. Porsche executives believe such a flagship would have wider appeal than the compact 911. The 928 has the distinction of being the company's first production V8 powered model and its only coupe powered by a front-mounted V8 engine. By the late 1960s, Porsche had firmly established itself as a manufacturer of high-performance sports cars. Executives, including owner Ferdinand Porsche, were beginning to consider adding a luxury touring car to the lineup due to the need of a car using less fuel and being more usable in the wake of the 1970s oil crisis. Managing Director Ernst Foreman was pressuring Ferdinand to approve development of the new model due to concerns that the then current flagship model, the 911, was reaching the limits of its potential. Foreman believed that the future of the company relied upon grand touring cars with conventional engines rather than unconventional sports cars. Slumping sales of the 911 in the mid-1970s seemed to confirm that the model was approaching the end of its economic life cycle. Foreman envisioned the new range-topping Grand Tourer model as being the best possible combination of a sports coupe and a luxury sedan. This would set it apart from the 911, with its relatively Spartan interior and true sports car performance. The targets were that the car had to compete on par with offerings from Mercedes-Benz and BMW while also being successful in the United States, Porsche's main market at the time. Ordered by Ferdinand Porsche to design a production-feasible concept for the new model, Foreman initiated a design study in 1971, eventually yielding the 928, which was the first clean sheet designed by the company for its own model. The 356 had evolved from the Volkswagen Beetle, the 911 was an evolution of the 356, the 914 was a joint effort intended as a replacement for the Volkswagen Karmann Ghia in 912, and the 924 was the result of abandoned project by Volkswagen and Audi. Several drivetrain layouts were considered during early development, including rear and mid-engine designs, but most were dismissed because of technical and legislative difficulties. Having the engine, transmission, catalytic converters and exhaust all cramped into a small rear engine bay made emission and noise control difficult, which were the problems Porsche had with the 911. After deciding that the mid-engine layout did not allow enough room in the passenger compartment, a front-engine, rear-wheel drive layout was chosen. Porsche may have feared that the US government would soon ban the sale of rear-engine cars in response to concern over safety problems with the rear-engine Chevrolet Corvair. Porsche engineers wanted a large displacement engine to power the 928, and prototype units were built with a 5-liter V8 engine rated at nearly 306 PS, 225 kilowatts, 302 horsepower. Ferdinand Porsche wanted this car to use a 4.6-liter 90-degree V10 engine with 88 mm bore spacing, a derivative of the Audi 5-cylinder engine, which in turn is based upon the Volkswagen EA827 unit. The Porsche board objected as this move would give rise to a rumor of a new 911 with a front-mounted 6-cylinder engine, but also it is theorized that the board wanted to maintain some distance from the Volkswagen Group. The resulting all-alloy M28 engine has multiple unusual features. Its bore spacing is 122 mm, and uses thick aluminum cylinder barrels, hence the lower displacement. The engine was designed for airflow first, thus the spark plugs are located at the top of the head. The 4-bolt bearings are sizable and are fed oil via grooves in the bottom surface of the block. The oil and water pumps are driven by the timing belt, and the design of the engine allows for sufficient airflow with a low bonnet. The first two running prototypes of Porsche's M28 V8 used one 4-barrel carburetor for initial testing. Actual production cars employed the planned Bosch K-Jetronic fuel injection system. When increasing concern within the company over price and availability of fuel during the oil crisis of the 1970s became an issue of contention, Smaller engines were considered in the interest of fuel economy. A push began for the development of a 3.3 liters 182 PS, 134 kilowatts, 180 horsepower, power plant envisioned by Foreman, but company engineers balked at this suggestion. Both sides finally settled on a 4.5 liters, Sock-per-bank 16-valve V8 rated at 240 PS, 180 kilowatts, 240 horsepower 219 horsepower, 163 kilowatts, in North America, which they considered to have an acceptable compromise of performance and fuel economy. The finished car debuted at the 1977 Geneva Motor Show before going on sale later that year as a 1978 model. Although it won early acclaim for its comfort, power and futuristic design, sales were slow. Base prices were much higher than that of the previous range-topping 911 model, and the 928's front-engined, water-cooled design alienated many Porsche purists. Foreman's replacement, Peter Schutz, decided that the models should be sold side by side, feeling that the 911 still had potential in the company's lineup. Legislation against rear-engined vehicles did not materialize. Although it never sold in the numbers Foreman envisioned, the 928 developed an avid following and had an 18-year production run.